I've been fortunate to live a life of art and creativity. Visual art has its role, the written word has its role, theater has its role, but to me, music is amazing because it's abstract. It doesn't compare to anything. It doesn't exist. It's not tangible. You can't move it around. You have to put it on something. But its execution in live performance means that it is absolutely of the moment.
I am a lineman for the county, and I drive the main road, searching in the sun for another overload.
I'm coming into Havana to be accompanied by local musicians who will play my music with me. We might or might not change the style up a little to suit their sensibilities, but I'm also getting the opportunity to listen to and actually play with 3 sets of local musicians. Cuba was always the forbidden place. I was born in 1952, so in 1959 when this all happened, I was 7 years old, and it became someplace you weren't allowed to go, you weren't allowed to communicate with, so it had a mystique to it.
And the Wichita lineman is still on the line.
To me, culture is apolitical. It's colorblind. Granted, you can create political art. But the idea of the local art is that it doesn't come from a political place, it comes from an emotional place and a creative place. To get the opportunity to experience something that has heretofore been forbidden to us, and to get to do it firsthand, in the place, with the people, in real time, it was an incredible opportunity, and I jumped.
Headlights burn straight through the dark. You look out the window away from me. Cold's measured by degrees.
My organization is called US-Cuba Artist Exchange, and so I actually produce collaborations between US artists and Cuban artists.
See where hearts disappear, for the distance between what we said here.
In the beginning, I really like the idea of seeing musicians come together and basically speaking through music as a language, because a lot of the musicians I've brought down here don't speak Spanish, and a lot of Cuban musicians here don't speak English. So there's just this way to communicate through the music and still collaborate and create these beautiful songs and performances and things.
Darling, please give it time enough to work it out before the sun comes.
Adventure isn't just good stuff. Adventure is the unknown. Adventure is opening a door and finding something behind it that you have no idea about. You know, you might want to call it trepidation. I call it excitement. I call it anticipation, and I'm really into it.
What's a golden chain ties me to you? Just a little darkness, the storm that's passing through.
When I walked into the place and saw the setting where we were going to be playing, I was completely blown away. I think I expected a big giant room. And to be in such a beautiful plaza courtyard filled with art and vegetation and just such a beautiful setting, then the musicians showed up and they start setting up, and they're really talented. I mean, I'd never met them, I'd never really heard them. To find out on the fly how good they were, I kind of knew it was going to be a pretty fun event.
The mistakes in misery, gotta leave them behind, but the ghosts are dancing in my mind. The ghosts are dancing in my mind.
What I got from it was the notion that artistically they're very free. Artistically they're very energized to express what they want to express, which tends to be more emotional and less political. The freedom of musical movement was amazing, and I didn't expect that. I expected it to be probably stiffer in some ways, probably more idiomatic Cuban without being broadly musical with Cuban flavors.
With a lock and chain around your bulletproof heart. Minute by minute, time after time, body to body, crossing over the line.
I want to come back. I want to come and not be pressed for time. I want to come and work in a slower sense with local musicians. I want to write songs here. I want to play just to play. I'd like to hear their stories about what it's like for a musician here. How do they live? Where do they work? And what spurs them on? I'm looking forward to the ability to come back and exchange the cultural energies that I bring from the US and that they bring from Cuba and mush them together and make something cool happen. I mean, that's without equal in my world.